Liam, stay behind me, I shouted, dragging my busted leg as fast as I could across the metal corridor. Blood soaked through my pants, warm and sticky. He clung to my hand, eyes wide, mouth trembling. Dad, they're coming.
I know.
Just stay calm, okay? We're almost to the evac door. Shh. My voice shook, and I hated it. Marines don't panic. Fathers don't shake. But I wasn't either anymore. I was just broken. The klaxons wailed as the lights flickered overhead. Red. Darkness. Red. Darkness. Why aren't the soldiers helping us? He asked. They're lying. They're trying. Just have to get to the glass bay. We reached the corridor that led to the observation chamber, reinforced glass walls. Sealed shut, safe, or so I thought. Liam crawled through that duct. Right there. Quick. I'm scared. So am I. I knelt beside him, pain biting my side. I need you to be brave for me now, just like we practiced. He nodded and slid in, fingers trembling. I exhaled. Just a few more seconds. Then they came. Tall, glistening, bone pale, eyes like wet stones. Claws scraping the floor. Vernick. One spotted me. It hissed and charged. No. Oh. I slammed my fist on the glass wall as the duct door sealed behind Liam. You stay the hell away from my son. The glass between us turned opaque as the autolock kicked in. I was trapped on one side. He was safe on the other, or so I thought. A panel on the far end slid open. 3 Varnock emerged inside Liam's chamber. No, 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 no. I slammed the glass with both fists. Run, Liam, run, Daddy. His voice was so small. He backed away, crying, as one of them reached for him. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop any of it. Get away from him. I punched the glass until my knuckles split. Take me, you bastards. They didn't even look at me. Liam, my voice cracked. I'm coming. I'm gonna get you back. Hear me, he screamed as they grabbed him. He fought. My boy fought so hard. Then the screen turned black. Silence. I slumped against the wall, bleeding, shaking. That was it. That was all I had left. Alara's gone, I whispered. And now you. Now you too. I don't know how long I sat. There. Minutes. Hours. Footsteps echoed. 2 medics in white suits. Appeared human. I blinked up at them. We have to get you to med bay, sir. My son, I muttered. They took my son. I know. One knelt beside me. I'm sorry. I'm going to kill them. My voice was flat. Empty. Every last one, sir. No. I grabbed his collar, pulling him close. I'm not going to cry. I'm not going to beg. I'm going to burn their world for this. The medic nodded slowly, his eyes wide. Then we better patch you up. Yeah, I said, because I've got a war to start. State your name. Judge Orzel growled from his crystalline perch, for glowing eyes glaring down at me. My name is Daniel Reed, I answered, voice steady, despite the trembling in my limbs. I'm here for my son. Low hum echoed through the chamber. Disgust, amusement, I couldn't tell. Varnock never showed emotions the way we did. Subject. Reed will commence phase 1 of the moral endurance exam, Dr. Nelvar said. Eyes not meeting mine as he tapped something into a panel. Stimulus, ... grief exposure. A screen dropped from the ceiling. Liam's face flickered to life, filthy, gaunt, terrified. Daddy, he whispered. My heart slammed into my ribs. Liam, I'm here. A shock pulsed through the floor, seizing. My muscles. Emotional outbursts are considered a failure metric, Orzel hissed. I bit down on my cheek, forcing myself to nod. You will not address the child, Dr. Nelvar said quietly, avoiding my gaze. Observe only. The screen faded to black. I kept standing. Interesting, Orzel mused. Day 1, he remains upright. By day 3, they stripped me of everything. Clothes, dignity, rest. They filmed my silence, staring at the wall while they replayed Liam's screams on loop. My boy crying for water, for me, for Mom. I stopped reacting, Not even a tear today, Orzel said, amused. Perhaps. Humans can adapt. Juno, the woman in the corner cell, looked at me through the bars. You're not crying anymore. Can't afford to, I muttered. If I break, he dies. She leaned forward, whispering, They're not testing for grief. They want compliance. Strip you down until you're nothing. Then I'll be nothing, I said, jaw clenched. So long as he lives. On day 5, they brought in food, steak, potatoes, a real meal. My stomach groaned. Orzel smiled. I'd eat, and we'll give your son 10 minutes of sunlight. What's the catch, I asked. Recite your crimes. Admit you are a lesser species. Grovel. I picked up the plate. Smelled it real then. I hurled it at the wall. Give him sunlight anyway, or don't. I'm not your pet. Silence. Dr. Nelver's hands hovered at the console, hesitant. Juno whispered. They're afraid of what you'll do if you don't need them. Subject Reed exhibits atypical resistance, Nelvar reported on day 6, voice low. Emotional suppression without pharmaceutical aid? You admire him? Orzel snarled. No, Nelvar said, glancing my way. I envy him. That night, Juno passed me a scrap of fabric through the bar storm from her sleeve. For your hands, she murmured. They don't like kindness, I warned. Neither do tyrants, she replied. But it reminds us we're still human. Day 8, they made me watch a simulation Liam drowning in a black tank. Not real, I whispered. It's not real. You seem confident, Orzel said, circling me. You forget, I said quietly. Humans lie to themselves better than anyone. The judge leaned in. What makes you think you deserve him? Back? Because I never stopped choosing him, I said. Even when it meant losing myself. He hissed and stepped back. Why aren't you breaking? Juno asked later that night. I pressed my forehead to the cold wall. Grief isn't weakness. It's armor. Every scream I hold back builds another layer. She was quiet. Then they'll push harder. I'm counting on it. Day 10. No sleep. No food. Just a chair in a blinding white chamber. Last test, Nelvar said. What is it, Liam, or Juno? Choose one to live. I stared at the screen, my son. Then the bar's Juno watching me. I won't choose, I said. You must, Orzel growled. That is the test. No, I said. That's your game, and I don't play anymore. You'll lose both. Then I lose, but I stay human. For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Orzel bared his fangs in a sneer, released the child, nearly collapsed. Nelvar looked away, whispering he passed. Not because I broke, but because I refused to. You said. The screen flickered one last time. Then darkness, no Liam, no sound. Just my own heartbeat thudding in my ears and the glare of the sterile lights above. I stood there frozen, waiting. Nothing, Liam. I croaked, knowing damn well he couldn't hear me anymore. My knuckles slammed against the glass. Once, twice, again. Blood smeared across the pane in angry red strokes. They took him. They erased him like he was never real. Like his screams hadn't haunted this cell for weeks. I didn't scream back. I didn't beg them to bring him back. I just stared. Orzel was watching me through the one-way lens they thought I couldn't see. I held his gaze. Let him see what he created. And for the first time, he looked away. That's when I knew. They thought they were breaking us. But something else had taken root in me, something sharper. The door hissed open.
Ow.
Juno walked in. Slowly, her boots echoing off the metal floor. They told me what happened, she said softly. I didn't answer. She crouched near me. I'm sorry. Don't, I muttered. You cared about him. They knew that, I replied. That's why they took him, Juno exhaled. You haven't said a word to anyone since they pulled him from the cell. Nothing to say. She searched my face, eyes flickering. Over the dried blood, the bruises. They think they broke you. No. My voice was low, steady, cold. She blinked. Then what? They built what's going to destroy them.
Ow.
Juno took a step back. I stood slowly, letting the weight of everything settle into my bones like armor. You ever seen a caged animal realize the door's open? Her brow furrowed? What are you talking about? I've been pacing in here thinking I was trapped, but I wasn't. Not really. You think you can fight them? No, I know I can. They'll kill you. They already tried. Said. When they took Liam, they killed the last part of me that hesitated. You're scaring me. You should be scared, I said. But not of me. Juno's voice dropped to a whisper. Then of what? Of what happens next? She looked over her shoulder, then back at me. You're serious? I'm done surviving, Juno. I'm going to end this. She stepped closer again. Then let me help you. I stared at her. Why? Because I'm tired too, she said, voice cracking. What? Because I saw them drag him away and did nothing. Because I thought surviving meant staying quiet. But maybe surviving means fighting back. Silence stretched between us. It was the first time I saw fear in her eyes, not of them. Of me, of what I'd become. Good. They monitor everything, she whispered. We can't talk here. Just did. Her eyes narrowed. What if they come for you next? They will. And you're okay with that? I smiled, just barely. No, I'm counting on it. She backed toward the door, pausing just before it opened. If you're serious, meet me in the lower utility corridor. 300 hours. No cams there. And if I'm not, then I'll pretend this conversation never happened. I nodded once. And I stood in the silence she left behind, staring at the blood on my fists. It's a crack in the glass, in the empty space where Liam used to scream. That's when I knew. They didn't win. They just gave me something worth tearing them apart for. You said. Hey, I called softly from the cell, pressing my forehead against the stasis field. You dropped something. The Varnock guard turned, suspicious. What? Looks like a diagnostic spike. Bottom of the corridor. He grunted, stepping forward. I saw the flicker in the force field as he deactivated it. Step back, he warned. I held up my hands, just trying to help. As he bent down, I lunged. My shoulder hit his jaw, and we both slammed into the floor. Pain burst in my collarbone crack. I didn't stop. He reached for his blaster. I jammed the meal tray's sharpened edge under his ribs. He screamed. I shoved harder. Liam, I whispered, twisting the blade. Blood sprayed. I ripped the security band from his wrist and snatched the knife from his belt. Juno, I hissed, running. Her cell was down 3 halls past the hydrocoils. The band blinked green. Her stasis field dropped with a buzz. She dropped to her knees, coughing. Juno, it's me. We're getting out. You broke your collarbone, she said, eyes wide. I'll walk it off. You can barely get up, she did. I handed her the knife. You're faster. We won't make it past the main deck, she muttered. I smirked. We're not going to the main deck. She frowned, then wear down. Commander Tyrex is below. Every guard I took down, I whispered Liam's name, one by one, silent and brutal. Near the hangar level, we ducked behind a service bulkhead. 2 guards were talking. Heard Tyrex ordered a rotation. I think it's because of the prisoner shift? Could be. He gets paranoid. I met Juno's gaze. You thinking what I'm thinking?
What?
She said. I nodded. Uniforms. We waited. When one lit a smoke stick, I pounced. The knife slid across his throat like butter. Juno jammed the butt of her stolen blaster into the others. Skull. They dropped. We stripped them in silence. As I tugged on the uniform, I hissed at the pain in my shoulder. Juno looked away, jaw clenched. You don't have to follow me into this, I told her. You freed me, she said. That makes this my fight too. We headed downward. The lowest decks reeked of damp metal and fear. Few came here willingly. Zurin stood at the console, fingers trembling over the controls. I raised my blaster. Turn it off. He spun. Don't. Shoot. I just monitor the plasma intake. Please turn off the security doors. All of them. His 3 eyes blinked rapidly. That's treason. I stepped closer. So is harboring a known war criminal. Guess we're all in deep. I swallowed. Who are you? Someone Tyrex broke once. His fingers danced over the panel. Doors down in 15 seconds. Juno took position near the corridor. Zarene's voice cracked. Are you going to kill him? I didn't answer. The red warning lights cut off silence. Juno, whispered Showtime. We crept forward. Tyrex's chamber had a curved obsidian door. No security field, just arrogance. I opened it. There he sat, pouring dark blue liquor into a square glass. Back turned to me. I was wondering when you'd arrive, he said calmly. Juno raised her blaster. Let me, I said, stepping forward. He turned slowly, smiling. Ah, the broken one. I remember what you did to Liam. I broke him, he said, sipping. Now you want revenge. How predictable. Not revenge, I said. Justice. You think stabbing me will? Make the nightmares stop? No. But it'll help me sleep tonight. He stood. You won't do it. You still flinch. He was right. My hand trembled. Then Juno stepped forward. He doesn't flinch alone. Tyrex looked at her. Shh. Ah, the mechanic. She's more than that, I said. She's free. Because of you? He mocked. You're still my failure. I took another step. Then let's end it. He lunged. Faster than I expected, his hand grabbed my broken shoulder. I screamed, but the knife was already moving. I drove it up into his gut. He staggered. You won't win? I already did, I whispered. This is for Liam. He dropped. Blood pooled around his boots. Juno exhaled sharply. You okay? I nodded. Barely. Zaren's voice crackled over the cum. Security sweep coming in 90 seconds. You need to go. We ran through the corridors, past the fallen, past my past, toward something new. We weren't escaping anymore. We were free. The hallway narrowed the deeper we went. Cracked lights buzzed above us, casting flickering shadows over rusted doors. Then we heard its soft whimpers. I stopped cold. Did you hear that? I whispered. Jared nodded. Sounds like kids. I pushed open a heavy metal door, and my breath caught. Cages, dozens of them, tiny bodies curled up, sedated, shivering. My heart punched my ribs. Oh my God, I muttered. What is this place? Jared stepped beside me, fists clenched. A nursery or a prison? I took one step and then I heard it. Liam, I breathed. A faint cry answered. Mommy? My knees gave out. I dropped to the cold floor as Liam stumbled out from behind a cage wall. Thin, filthy. His little lips trembled. Liam. I crawled forward, arms wide. He crashed into me, sobbing. You came, he whispered, voice hoarse. I knew you'd come. It never stopped coming. I choked. I never stopped. Buried his face in my neck, his tiny fingers clinging. Like I'd vanish if he let go. I wanted to tell him everything was okay, but it wasn't. Are you hurt? I asked, brushing his hair back. They gave us shots, made us sleepy, he murmured. Some kids didn't wake up fast. Around kids in every corner, wide, terrified eyes. One girl stood in front of the others, protective. She was older, 12, maybe with dirt-smeared cheeks and fierce, alert eyes. She stepped forward. Who are you? I'm Liam's mom. She didn't relax. What are you doing here? Getting him out. And all of you, she narrowed. Her eyes, everyone says that? Then they disappear. I'm not everyone, I said. What's your name? Amira, she replied, arms folded. I look after them. Hey. Jared stepped forward slowly, hands raised. We don't mean harm. We just didn't know it was this bad. Amira pointed to a camera in the corner. They're watching. We don't have much time. How many are here? I asked. 36, she replied. But some can't walk. Jared cursed under his breath. We'll need help. I turned to Liam. Can you walk, baby? He nodded, rubbing his eyes. Good, I said. Because we're getting out of here. We have to go through the laundry chute, Amira said. They use it to smuggle kids out at night. I've seen it. Jared looked skeptical. You sure it's not a trap? You have a better idea? She shot back. He shook his head. Amira led us through a back corridor. The smell hit me first. bleach, mold, and blood. We passed rooms full of broken toys, spilled food, and silence. "We'll come back for the others," I whispered. "No," Amira said. "You can't leave anyone. I don't have enough hands," I snapped. "You'll have mine," she said firmly. "And theirs." The older kids had gathered, standing tall. "Despite the fear in their eyes, they'll follow me," Amira said. "But you have to promise. No lies." I looked her dead in the eye. "I promise." We made it to the chute. It was narrow, grimy, steep. "I'll go first," Jared said. "Catch the kids below." "And me," I said. "Liam, stay close." Grabbed my hand tight. "I won't let go." One by one, they slid down. Whimpers echoed through the shaft. I slid last, heart pounding, praying it didn't end in fire. But it didn't. We hit a dark storage room. Jared was already ushering the kids behind crates. "We need a van," he said, "and fast." "I'll call Sam," I said, pulling out the burner phone. Liam tugged my sleeve. "Mommy? Yeah? Baby? Can we go home now?" I hesitated. "Soon. Just a little longer." His lower lip trembled. "I miss my bed." "No." I hugged him close. "We'll get it back." Mira stood beside me.
We're not
safe yet. "I know," I said, looking at the children huddled together. Wrapped in torn blankets, Liam leaned into me, whispering, "You came for me." I kissed his head. "Always." And even though I wanted to believe it was over, I knew it was not. "Not yet. They're coming through the starboard corridor." One of the kids shouted. I slammed a fresh clip into the plasma rifle. "Hold the line. No one moves until I say." The lights flickered as the Varnak breached another deck. The shrieks echoed closer. Metal groaned. Fear twisted in my gut, but I couldn't afford fear not now. Juno grabbed my arm. "There's too many, you know that, right?" "Yeah. But they don't know what we're willing to die for." She gave a bitter smile. "Then let's show them." The first wave hit like a storm tall, armored brutes with electric halberds and scorched insignias. "Shock troops. Urtax elite, we open fire. Get down," I shouted as I lobbed a grenade around the corner. The boom rattled our bones. Black blood sprayed the walls. A boyno, older than 12, screamed as a Varnak soldier yanked him. From cover, I lunged, firing point blank. The thing dropped, twitching. The kids scrambled back behind the barricade, crying. "You okay?" I asked, kneeling beside him. He nodded through tears. "I didn't want to run. I didn't want to be." "Scared? You fought. That's all that matters." Then I heard heavy footsteps. Not fast, not urgent. Just inevitable. Your stepped. Hui stepped through the smoke like death itself. His crimson armor reflecting firelight, his blade humming with energy. "You," he said. "You're the one they talk about." I stood, "And you're the one they'll forget." He raised his blade. "You are outmatched. Surrender, and I'll make your deaths quick." I smirked. "That's cute." "I was about to offer you the same." He charged. I ducked under his first swing and fired twice into his thigh. Sparks flew. No stagger, just rage. He struck again. I barely rolled out of the way. Juno tossed me a pipe bomb. Heads up, clicked the fuse, and jammed it into a crack in his chest plate. "This is from Earth," I said, boom dot. He reeled back, armor shredded, gasping. I moved fast, slamming my knife between the plates at his neck. "And this," I twisted hard, "is from my son." He gurgled, choked, and dropped like a slab of steel. "Are you sure this is the feed-up link?" I asked, fingers trembling over the glowing console. Ambassador Chen's voice crackled through my earpiece. "Positive. Once you hit transmit, every Varnock screen public private military goes live." Throat was dry and Earth. They're watching too. I took a breath. Here goes nothing. The moment I pressed the final command, the console pulsed. The air shifted, like the universe itself was holding its breath. One by one, the monitors lit up first, the command station. Then the entire grid. The footage started rolling. A trembling child in a cage. Screams in the dark. A branding iron pressed to human skin. Blood. Too much blood. My God. Ambassador Chen whispered. You weren't exaggerating? I told you, I said, swallowing the bile rising in my throat. They didn't just conquer us, they butchered us. A beat of silence, then another voice cut through. You did it. A rough, gravel-soaked voice said. You lit the fire. I froze. Who is this? Riven Varnock. Rebel friend, maybe. There was a low laugh. Depends how this ends. Why now? I asked, eyes locked on the screens. Some showed chaos already, Varnock citizens screaming. Soldiers scrambling to shut off public terminals? Too late. Because the truth is the only thing stronger than the Empire's grip, Riven said. And now that you've shown it, we burn the whole thing down. Ambassador Chen returned to the line. We just received Earth's response. Parliament invoked Clause 7 of the Interstellar Accord. Genocide confirmed. Tribution fleets are mobilizing. My heart thudded. They believed me? They believed what they saw. The footage shifted now. The secret labs, the experiments. The children. Riven's tone dropped, steel hard. We have cells on every Varnock world, underground, waiting. For years, we whispered in the shadows, but no more. You're going public, I asked. He chuckled. Oh, we're going louder than public. We're going explosive. Then what do you need me for? You're the face now, he said. The human who defied the Varnock. You gave the people a reason to rise. Now lead. I'm not a leader, I said, my voice barely a whisper. I'm just angry. Exactly, Riven said. Empires fall when the angry get organized. The console beeped feeds, shifting to the outer colonies. Reports flooding in. Riots on Arkan 3's military base overrun on NYS Delta Varnock citizens. Demanding council TRIL's Ambassador Chen gasped. It's happening. They're actually revolting. I blinked at the screen, overwhelmed. I thought they'd turn it off. Hide it. Pretend it was fake. You gave them truth in high definition, Riven said. Truth with teeth. I stared at my reflection in the monitor, eyes wide, lips parted, sweat glistening on my brow. I didn't recognize myself. Ambassador Chen's voice turned grim. You've made history. But now comes the hard part. I nodded slowly. Now we win the war? Riven laughed, fierce and feral, no friend. Now we make sure the council never rises again. You showed them what they are. You're going to finish it. Together, he said. It's Varnock. Inhuman. Victim and traitor. Rebel and truth speaker. I stood up, spine straight, fists clenched. Then let's burn the Empire down. And the screens kept playing. And the people kept watching. And somewhere in the stars, vengeance moved. Liam lay curled beside me in the ship bunk. His breath shallow, hands twitching now and then, like they still remembered the electric whip. I brushed his hair back gently. Hey, it's okay, I whispered. We're not there anymore. He didn't stir. His face looked younger when he slept like before the mines. Before the camps, before we stopped believing rescue would ever come. Do you remember the lake behind your uncle's farm? I kept my voice low. He told me about it once. Said the water was so clear, you could see the sky inside it. His fingers twitched again, but slower this time. You wanted to build a raft, remember? Get away from everything. Maybe float until the stars swallowed us whole. I swallowed hard, pressing my lips to his shoulder. They called us weak, I said quietly. Said we'd fold the second they took our names away, but we didn't. You held on, even when they tried to bury you. I glanced at the pod window. Stars smeared past like smudged ink on paper. Earth still looked like a rumor. Do you think they'll recognize us? I asked. When we land, will we even recognize ourselves? He didn't answer. Of course he didn't. I used to count the cracks in the cell wall, Liam, just to remind myself I could still count something. A small sigh escaped him, and I reached down, lacing our fingers together. Every night I told you stories, remember? I smiled faintly, some real, some made up.
Anything to keep your mind somewhere else.
I looked down at our hands, but the thing is, I was telling them for me too. His hand tightened slightly around mine. I won't sleep, I whispered. Not really. Not until I know you're free. Fully free. Not just out of that place. but out of its shadow. I stirred a little, murmuring something unintelligible. I told myself once I got back I'd burn every trace of them, but I think they're already erased. I closed my eyes for a second. Humanity doesn't break, Liam. It adapts. It evolves. It remembers. And then it deletes. The lights dimmed slightly, signaling the ship's shift into orbit. He exhaled a long, trembling breath. For the first time since we escaped, it didn't sound afraid. You sleep, Liam? Dream of the lake, the raft, the sky? I kissed his forehead gently. I'll stay awake. Just a little longer. And I meant it.